podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Voice Radio. Join us every Thursday and Sunday, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Thaboxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Another episode of Border Wars Series Unguarded, where we sit down with our participants and try to get a closer look into who exactly is crazy enough to get up off that couch, no more shouting at the TV, actually put on the gear, step in the ring, and let hands fly. And today's participant is none other than Eddie Bola De Grasa, hailing from Las Vegas. 5 amateur fights. Former friend of the rock star, Robert Ortiz. But yeah, man, I introduced to you Eddie Bola De Grasa. What's going on, brother? How are you? And first and foremost, I guess, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's, Ness. What's going on, man? How you guys doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. Happy to have you here on this Unguarded series. I
thanks
said,
for having me, man.
Where we get to know a little bit more about you. I guess let's jump into the important stuff, which is 5 amateur fights. I guess for those listening, they're like, oh, wow, this guy has some experience. Oh, 4 amateur fights.
4.
They may be saying you have some experience, but that was some time ago.
Yeah, I was an amateur from 12 to 15. But my amateur fights were all in my last year of being an amateur. I mean, of my amateur career. I spent 2 years just in the gym working and training and focusing on my skill. My trainer wouldn't let me get an amateur fight for a while, and so yeah, my amateur fights were my last year of being a fighter. Yeah.
So I guess what got you into boxing way back then?
Fernando Vargas, simply.
Really?
Yeah. No. Well.
Specific fight?
Yeah, him in Trinidad. I used to get bullied a lot in school. I used to get jumped a lot, bullied, and I never fought back because I was always scared. During those in the 90s, a lot of the environment was like a cholo environment. So if you fought back, you got jumped. So watching Fernando Vargas versus
Cholo,
Trinidad,
what's that for our East Coasters?
Gangsters, hood dudes and gangs and shit. So watching Fernando Vargas showing the heart that he had in that fight, I was like, I know I have that kind of heart. He fought Trinidad. He lost that fight, but man, that shit had me like in tears, fucking with excitement. And I went to the gym the next fucking, what was that, on Saturday? So Monday I was in the boxing gym. And I've been going since.
And what would you say, I guess, made you sign up this time? What got you into Border Wars? Because if you were an amateur, you're in Las Vegas, like, why not just go to a gym? I don't know. Is it hard to find this type of activity in Vegas? What brings you to Border Wars?
I mean, a gym in Vegas, gyms are a dime a dozen over here, man. There's a gym everywhere. But for me, I mean, I'm 32 now. Going into the amateurs takes a lot of dedication, especially if you want to be competitive. And then, if you want to compete in boxing, there's only 2 options. There's the pros and then there's amateurs. There's nothing in between. So Border Wars, I see it as a great avenue to, accomplish whatever I can accomplish in boxing. That's what I see it. I've always regretted quitting the amateurs, and I've always teased going back, but I've never had the dedication to actually get back in there and compete, So Border Wars came along, and I'm like, yo, this is perfect, So that's why I signed back up.
So there's a bit of a story for this particular Border Wars. I guess let's talk about that. Outside of you wanting to sign up, you were given a bit of a push from a family member.
My wife? You talking about my wife?
I believe that's the story goes, right? She heard something said on a show, and it motivated her enough to financially back you in your decision to come across the country.
She was just talking shit, She heard Sev that said we'll pay what, $100 for my flight. And she's like, yeah, I'll for you to knock my head off. And she started laughing, and she's like, yeah, I'll put $100 for that to happen too, because she don't like. I could get a little cocky when it comes to boxing, and she hates that. She hates that kind of mentality. So I mean, she's supported now. She's come around to it, so she's been supportive. But she didn't like the shit talking that I always do when it comes to boxing. So yeah, she's matching what
So
Matt
so
said.
what
So.
what exactly is it that you say in your shit talking? Like what are you out here saying?
No, I'm always, well, first of all, with you in particular, see, this is kind of hard because am I talking to Ness or am I talking to interview,
No,
you know?
no. This is Nestor Gibbs, the interviewer. You are fighting Ness GTO, the IBF champion,
The Dominican Nightmare.
the
The thing with
Dominican
him,
Nightmare.
he's always talked about how nobody want to fight him, nobody wants to fight him, and I'm always like, man, ain't nobody fucking scared over here, dude. Hell no, I'll fight him. I don't care. The thing with me, I ain't scared to fight anybody, dude. There's not a single soul. Man, if Deontay Wilder was in there, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's strap him up. Just to say I've been in there with Deontay Wilder. I don't care, dude. I'll fight anybody. I ain't scared of nobody. I feel like when you have an amateur background, especially when you start off as a kid, um, that fear gets taken out of you, you know, because you don't know who you're gonna fight until you're in the ring. You walk in the ropes, and boom, that guy's that you didn't want to fight is the guy you're gonna end up fighting. You know, everybody has reputations, especially in Vegas. You know who's the top amateurs. You know who are the best guys. You know, and then when you walk into the ring, imagine being 12, 13 years old, walk into the ring, and that's the guy in front of you. You can't run out. You can't turn around and leave. That shit was taken out of me. So that's the kind of shit talking I do. In the boxing ring, I'm pretty confident in fighting anybody. Win, lose, or draw, I'll fight anybody.
But shouldn't you channel that confidence into something, I guess, more productive than getting in a fight that is perceived by the public as a mismatch?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Should I channel that
I mean,
in?
you don't have to be afraid to get your ass whooped. It also doesn't mean that you have to get your ass whooped. Like, you can pick the fight that better suits you rather
I see
than
what you're saying.
trying to silence this 40-year-old dude that, according to Jose, cherry picks. You can. What I'm saying is, you can create your own path.
Yeah. I don't want to. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing with Border Wars. Border Wars is like a mini professional box. You see what boxing is like, and then you see a lot of people cherry picking and choosing their fights and choosing their paths and how long does it take to get to a certain area. I mean, the way I look at it is Border Wars can get pretty pricey if you don't plan it right? So why not just go for the top? I feel like I could beat Nest. I really do. I have a freaking tall task ahead of me. I know I know it's going to be a tough fight, but I do feel like if I play my card right and I train right and I focus right, I could beat him.
But isn't that the knock on you?
Yeah, the Andy Ruiz.
The websites in the chat room say that you might like pizza and all the other stuff that Andy likes. And people have to believe in you, but also gamble in you for 8 weeks and hope that when those 8 weeks are up, you turned in some sort of a good training camp.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, I've never lied about not being I guess you could say too disciplined when it comes to training. I don't like training. That's probably a knock on me on the amateurs. That's probably the main reason why I ended up stop going.
Let's
Is
stop there, though. What exactly about training don't you like?
all right. So when I get there, I'm good. I'm good to go. It's hard to get me there. That's the issue. You know what I'm trying to say?
Definitely.
I work 8 hours a day, right? I get home. I got 4 hours before I got to go to bed. What do I want to do with those 4 hours? Relax and fucking turn my mind off, or go train in the gym. And most of the time, I tend to.
Wait, 4 hours? So what, you want to get to bed by 9?
I go to bed. Yeah, 9:30. I'm in bed. 10 o'clock. I'm asleep.
Holy shit, bro.
I get up at 6:30 every day.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. Listen, when I was a truck driver, and this is no lie, I would literally not go to sleep till after 12, and I had to punch in at 6, so I was
Yeah.
fucking up already like 5:15. You
When I
know?
was younger, I could do that shit, man. I can't do that shit no more. That shit, hell no. Being tired at
Okay.
work makes the
So,
day
all right. So you
stretch.
got 4 hours. You have no children.
None,
No
none,
children. Married.
none. Yes,
How
married. Yep.
long have you been married?
March.
Oh, so it's a
So
relatively new marriage. Not
brand
even a
new. Yep.
year.
No, not even. No,
Not even a
March.
year.
We
So
just
you definitely can't take too many of those 4 hours for training with a new marriage. You got to give the wife some time. So what do you in your mind you want to dedicate how many hours to
oh,
working out?
I've already talked to her. I'm gonna go for 2 hours. I'm gonna come home. Me and her are gonna go for a run because she wants to, try to shed some pounds too. So we're gonna go for a run, and then right after that run, I'm going straight to the gym from 6 to 8. Come home, have a small dinner because by that time I wouldn't have eaten anything, and then go to bed. That's basically the plan for the next 8 weeks.
And this question is coming more from like a just interest, wanting to know, not trying to give advice or anything like that. But will you be eating before the gym or after the gym? I have a friend from Ohio, Matt, works out just like your friend Robert.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
super shape, counting
right.
everything.
hmm
And he actually eats before gym, just protein shake after. I can't do that. Like I go to
Nah,
the
me,
gym, I come back home and eat.
yeah, I can't do that, man. I'm never really hungry after work. It takes me a couple hours to get hungry. So the only danger about going to the gym and coming home is I'm gonna have a large appetite. So I haven't figured that part out yet. If I should eat before the gym or after the gym. Um, I tend to do it after the gym, but like I've said before, my appetite's huge and I tend to gorge after that. So I'm gonna have to figure that out too.
Yeah, man. I think I believe I tried that in the past. Like, oh, protein shake, man, that's nothing, bro. And look, I get extensive with I'm putting a scoop of peanut butter. I'm putting a scoop of the protein. If I got bananas going. That shit still ain't doing nothing. I need food.
Yeah, yeah. Physically, I need to physically eat. The act of eating this shit is the issue. I mean, just taking a protein shake. No, but I'm be all right, man. I've done it before. I just gotta channel that
Before
amateur background.
you've done what before and when was before?
I mean, yeah. Granted, it was a while back. I mean, when I was an amateur, I was 125 pounds. I was a featherweight. Um, so I had to always maintain my weight. When in my early 20s, I was 150 pounds. I got it up and down for a my whole life since my 20s. Up and down, up and down. So I know how to cut weight. The only issue is keeping it off. But for this fight, I think I can do it. And I'm getting older, man. I want to have kids next year, so I want to make sure I figure out a healthy lifestyle. So this is a perfect opportunity to start that.
So, what is your, I guess, goal weight? I mean, honestly speaking, is this the right fight to decide to lose weight? If we look back at the tape from Ness's fight in LA, he came in his lightest at 216. His opponent was 268. And most people feel he lost the fight. Technically, on paper, impossible to lose with a knockdown, but most people feel he lost the fight. Do you want to lose weight and then be the small? You're already the smaller man. Do you even want to be, the lighter man too?
No, I mean, I don't think I'm going to get down to the low 200s for this fight. There's no way. That's over 50, 60 pounds to get down to the low 200s. I just want to get down enough to where I'm light on my feet. My fight with Mofongo, my feet were in the mud. I couldn't bounce like I usually bounce. I couldn't move my waist like I usually can. So I plan to get to a weight where I can be able to do all that stuff because that stuff is going to be necessary. I'm going to need my legs against Ness. Um, so whatever weight that is, that's the weight I'm planning. I'm not looking at a specific number or none of that. Just as long as how I feel. I'm gonna start going to the gym on Tuesday tomorrow, and they do sparring on Wednesdays. So I'll be sparring and I'll know where I'm at. Where how I'm feeling, and I'm not gonna focus on the number. I'm just gonna focus on how I feel.
And I guess, or was the thought process in taking this fight to, I guess, quiet the naysayers, or did you gain inspiration from the Andy Ruiz movement of 2019?
Yeah, when way back. I was supposed to participate in way back in Border Wars 2, I think, in LA against Santiago. You guys were giving me Santiago as an opponent. I couldn't get up for him. For some reason, I would go to the gym, come home, gorge, not go to the next day. I just couldn't get up for him. So I decided to just pull out. I'm not even going to bother. And then I stopped listening to boxing. I stopped watching boxing. I stopped everything. And I decided to watch Andy Ruiz's fight with AJ. And that shit reminded me why I fucking love boxing. And so I go on the social medias to see if you guys are still doing Border Wars, and I'm like, yo, Andy Ruiz, Eddie versus Ness, let's do it. That's it gave me motivation, man.
I mean, listen, on paper, you have a better shot. How old are you?
I'm 32.
32, you know. Andy is, I don't know how old, but AJ is definitely young. You know, yeah. AJ is young, and AJ has amateur background. You know, he's had all the financial gains and resources at his ability. So it's totally different. You might have the upper hand. I mean, I feel that you have the upper hand, right? Because you have the amateur background. The problem is, can you tap into that? Is that a lifetime away?
Nah, I don't think so. When I sparred you, when you came to Vegas, that's the first time I've sparred.
Well, you mean when you sparred Ness?
When I sparred Ness. It's confusing, man. You should just put a mask on or some shit. No, yeah, when I sparred Ness in Vegas, that's the first time I sparred since my amateur days. And I watched that video, and like I said, that's why I said that sparring video gave me it was more meaningful for me than it was to Ness, because I saw that video. I even showed my brother, and he's like, "Man, you still got it. I still have the movements.
Whoa! I still got the movements. Talk about silver lining. I was given a copy of this tape that you speak of. You know, as I was preparing for this interview, I had to see the tape, and yeah, I don't see the silver lining that you and your family see, but I do find it admirable that you are using it as motivation.
I'm just, I mean, Mide recognizes it too, man. Real recognize real. He sees the movement. Everybody has commented on how the movement and all that stuff is important.
Again, being the commentator, you know, I'm known for giving LRB the tough questions and Floyd, and look, we got to be honest. Is Mide being honest? Or does he always just pick against Ness the way that Ness picks against Lomachenko, right? Like, yeah. I don't know. That we can believe Mide.
I mean, Mide's not the only one who's commented on that sparring video.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, even though on paper you should be the underdog, people continuously call and think that you will.
I think that just might be, you know, Ness haters.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe Ness, people, you know, Andy Ruiz, you know, fucking did the impossible so people could see it happening. Listen, I'm not 100% like, I'm not over.
But what is it that gives you confidence? Is it because he's 40?
Nah, just my ring.
Is it the bum knee? He wears knee braces into the ring.
Not even taking any of that into account. Ness has all the physical advantages in this fight. My only confidence is my ring IQ, my calmness, my ability to learn as I go.
I gotta ask then. So why didn't the ring IQ carry you to the win in the Mofongo fight, or do you feel you were robbed?
No disrespect to Mofongo, man. Shout out to Mofongo. He did it. I feel like me and him. I feel like I won. Personally, I feel like I won. I watched that fight. I've seen it maybe 4 or 5 times, and I still don't see how a draw happened. But from what he has told me, from what I've done, both our training camps were kind of very minimal, so we both didn't deserve the win. That's basically it, man. I mean, I landed 3 to 4 shots to his 1 or 2 every single time. Every exchange, if you watch that, I'm landing quick little punches on the inside when he was darting in. The only punch he landed repeatedly was his like right upper lunging shot. He would lunge in, throw that right up to the stomach, and then just smother my rest of my shots. But on the way in, if you watch the fight, I'm landing 3 or 4 shots on his way in every single time. That's I think I feel like that's nobody gave me any credit for that.
Now remember, if you are not a Patreon and you want to ask a question, you can call in 14255695241 and you can ask Eddie Bola De Grasa a question. And Bola De Grasa literally translate into ball of grease or ball of fat. So I mean, where'd you get the ring name from?
That was a joke, man. I was telling my in-laws back when I was gonna fight Santiago. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna sign up to this boxing thing. I'm gonna fight. Yeah, and they're like, what's his name? I said, oh, this is a silent killer. And I'm like, yeah, but there's one guy named the Tank who I want to fight. And then there's the Dominican Nightmare, all these badass names. And then my mother-in-law, who's now my mother-in-law today, she goes, what's your ring name? I'm like, I don't know. Man. I'll just call myself the Bola de Grasa. And we all started cracking up, and I just stuck with it. It was a joke. I should be thinner. I know I'm a big dude, especially at my size. But it kind of works too because with my style, it's kind of like saying mantequilla. There's been a lot of fighters who are kind of slippery in there, and that's my style. I like to be slippery, So that's where it came from.
Oh, so Machine Gun in the chat saying he's gonna be in your corner, backing you again, and we got
Team Texas, man. What's up?
Andres.
Shout out to Team Texas.
Andres wants to know how tall is Eddie? What's his reach?
I'm a short dude, man. I'm 5'7". I have no idea what my reach is. No clue. But I'm not those let's say those physical advantages are all on Ness's side. All the boxing advantages are mine. He can watch all the boxing he wants, but I've competed. I've competed in a lot of gym wars against pros and amateurs, and all that stuff is giving me experience.
But don't you think that that's what Ness is doing with all the connections that he has? He's got to be getting good sparring.
Listen, man. There's something like you can't teach an old dog new tricks, man. There's something that's why I always, when their fighters have been training since they're 6 years old, that's why they always look way better than fighters who are, I mean, don't get me wrong, you got Deontay Wilder who are just fucking changing the game, right? But you got to give credit to people who have been fighting since they were kids. You got they have when you're training since you're a kid, you're doing this over and over and over.
Yeah, but Wilder didn't train. Wilder didn't train when he was a
that's
kid.
What I'm saying. He's an exception to the rule.
But neither did Sergio. Sergio Martinez. I could name a lot of greats.
Yeah, but out of every 15 fighters, there's probably 2 or 3 who have made it without a starting fighting at a young age. You get out of 100 fighters who've been world champions, maybe 2 or 3 of them started fighting at a later age in life.
We got questions in the chat. Jose says, wasn't Gil an amateur too, though?
Yeah, but come on. Jose's a fucking hater.
No, and that's true, though. You performed way better in your first fight versus Mofongo, and you had a higher level caliber of fighter. Like Mofongo showed technical skill in that fight.
Absolutely. Like I want to just clarify, man. No hate on Mofongo. I'm just saying I feel like I won that fight, man. But yeah.
Hey, man, you're supposed to, man. You're supposed to feel like it. But we're gonna go out to the people's questions. We are doing our Border Wars Unguarded series. This is Eddie Bola de Grasa. The people are saying you should change that to Eddie Bola de Mantequilla. I don't know. That's what Troy said. He said change it to Mantequilla. Someone wants to know. Okay, so you gave your height. You gave you don't know your reach. Let me see. All right. So we'll get to these questions. We got Robert the Genius. You know he's taking on your corner man, Matt Machine Gun Garcia. He says, "Are you sparring? Are you sparring with someone with Ness's build?"
I'm not sparring yet. I'll be going to the boxing gym tomorrow. They do sparring on Wednesdays, and someone with Ness's build is a very rare person to find. You're going to find very few people as tall as Ness in the boxing gyms, especially in Las Vegas when the majority of the people are Hispanic, So if I find someone Ness's build, absolutely. But no, I'm not sparring anybody Ness's size and dimensions.
Oh, this Euro fighter, he said Ness the Dominican dad bod. Yo. Sign up. Sign up the Border Wars. Listen, a
Ruthless.
lot of heavyweights this season, though. A lot of
Absolutely, man.
heavyweights
It's
this season. Do
exciting.
you
It's exciting.
let me ask you that, right? Do you feel a bit regretful that you signed this fight and then there was an influx of new heavyweight signups where you kind of could have kind of showcased your talent and I don't know, or do you, like you said, it was better to run right into the top?
Yes and no. Yes, because I told you when you approached me with the Mofongo fight, I said, yeah, I'll take that fight. I'll showcase, and I figured that my fight with Mofongo would be impressive enough where people would say, "Yo, get Ness and Eddie." It wasn't that case. This fight with you happened. It worked out anyway, so I took it. But with all the influx of heavyweights coming in, yeah, I would have loved to take one of those guys and have that same reaction that Donel got. Yo, that kid Eddie is legit. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people are giving me compliments, but that Mofongo fight maybe was a quarter of what I can do and what I've been able to do in the past.
A
Plus, I mean, like I said,
quarter?
I want to
Wow.
go for, the top right now because I don't see myself, especially after a few training camps. I don't see myself at heavyweight too long. At 185, 175, 168, the lowest.
But if you win that belt, are you really gonna leave?
Oh, it all depends on what kind of training happens. How much weight am I going to lose in this fight? How much weight am I going to lose in the next fight? I might I might have to I might have to leave if I lose so much weight. If not, then I'll stay up here and campaign as long as it takes to get me down. Like you said, Ness, this is a weight loss challenge, and you advise people to take fights as they're going down in weight, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep taking fights until I go down in weight, and if I end up out of the weight class, I end up out of the weight class. If I win, I got a rematch. I already know that. So
I mean, that's what
I'll
Marvin did, man. And Marvin is right now one of our greatest stories. You know what I mean?
right,
248. Now he's a 185-pound champ. He's living a dream. 2 fights at heavyweight, 1 fight for the belts at 185. And he's
exactly.
he's shown his progression not only in skill but in weight loss. Now, the difference between you and Marvin is that Marvin has a wife that is a chef. How or what advantages do you have?
My wife can cook. Let's just say that. And she was playing. She gave me the extra 100 to get over there and get my head knocked off. But she was playing. She was just joking, talking shit. But we come up with the meal plan. And she's gonna be cooking and helping me out on this. She's actually being very supportive for this fight. The first one, she was kind of like, "What the fuck is this? What do you mean?" She didn't know me that I used to be a boxer and all that stuff. So this all just came out when I fought Mofongo. She was like, "Wait, what? You used to fight? What?" So, but
Whoa,
this one,
whoa, whoa. How do you get married and not tell your girl about your good old amateur days?
I got out of boxing for a long time, Ness. I walked away from the sport completely for a long time, and then during that time is when I met her.
Wow,
So
and you didn't
I didn't
speak
fight
of
about
this
it.
passion that you had for boxing. Because you
I
even
kind
you
of I
even
lost
covered
it.
the sport for TBV. For those that don't
Yeah,
know, Eddie was a Las Vegas correspondent for some time. Him and Robert
yeah,
Ortiz.
well, back in the day, yeah. When TVB first, when
Yeah,
you were
in the
first doing
infancy and of
correspondent way back.
infancy, man. You were part of the
Yeah.
growth.
Yes, sir. I
You
still
know.
got the business cards, Ness.
Yeah. So listen, speaking of Robert Ortiz, I know that there is something there that isn't there anymore. But with his expertise and this being, what I would call the biggest fight of your Border Wars career thus far, let's put it that way. You never know what big fight comes up next. But are you going to tap into that friendship to get some of those dieting tips since we know that this rock star really knows how to play with the weight? He can go up, he can go down, and he knows how to make it look good. And it sounds like he knows how to do it easily. Or do you think and feel that you're confident enough in everything that you learned as an amateur that you don't really need to contact him?
I believe in old school boxing training for sure. But as far as nutrition goes, he's given me a lot of advice over the years, and that's all in my head. I know a lot of the advice, um, and I still come back to it when I need it. So, but yeah. I mean, I don't need to contact him again for any advice nowadays. I already know it. I mean, I know a lot of the stuff he's told me over the years. It's the same macro kind of diet thing. I don't want to go into it, but you know.
I mean, I don't know. He's a guy that obviously I've sparred with. He knows the game from a knowledge standpoint. He has the physical attributes to be probably the best sparring partner for you. No, because he knows Ness on a personal level. And not only do they have a friendship, but they've also sparred. And again, he has that height and reach that you might need. Or is it easy to find that height and reach? I mean, you just said it isn't easy to find that. So
No, it's not. I mean, I'll probably reach out to him, but I doubt he'll. He's a busy man. He's got twins. He's married. He's got his band is in the middle of recording an album. It's just too much for him to stop what he's doing to come and give me sparring. I've sparred him many, many, many times. Never at 100%. Just gonna throw that out there. So I don't think I need a.
I'm
I don't think I
actually
need a
going
package
down
for that.
this road because he's betting against you, obviously, and he's
Of course, it is.
never felt you've gotten the best of him in sparring, and I guess that would probably again be the best sparring for you. Not only
Nah,
do you teach Ness a lesson, but you teach your old sparring partner a lesson who doesn't want to believe in you.
it don't matter if he picks against me or not. I mean, that's all just him talking. Let's just say Robert Ortiz isn't a fighter. That's just all I'm gonna say. And whenever we spar, it's always some stipulation to it. So I'm not even
Oh,
gonna.
so you've never okay? So his coach says like, look, we working on this, so we could only do this.
It's not his coach. It's him. It's
Oh,
him.
okay. So
Let's
he
just
wants controlled
let's
sparring.
just let's just work on jabs today. Yeah, let's just take it light. Just a nice light sparring. Let's and then he'll film it, piece me up a little bit, and that's the shit that he puts on his fucking social media. No, I'm not going down that
Oh, so
route.
he's clout chasing. Okay.
It's always
So
that.
what
It's always
about
that.
King? King was another person you added to your, I guess, training camp in the past. Is he gonna make an appearance, or are you seeking advice? Is he part of, I guess, Operation IBF Champion?
I haven't seen King since fucking that first Border Wars when he wanted to sign up, so I haven't seen him since. I tapped into two people. I hit up Caesar. Shout out to Caesar, man. Caesar's a
Caesar in
good
Las
dude.
Vegas, our listener. Shout out to Caesar. You're right. We met up with him in Vegas. He's a great guy.
He's a good dude, man.
And he told me he was motivating you. That's right. The chat and the
Absolutely.
forum say that he was when you and him linked up, you actually were going. He
Yeah.
says that all the stuff that we spoke about on the show that Robert Ortiz might have said about that he didn't notice that like you guys were actually going to the gym.
Yes, sir. Me and him have been going. It's. I like going to the gym with Caesar, man. He's a motivated dude, man, and I tend to try to get shortcuts. That's why when they say training yourself is not a good idea. So Caesar's a good dude. I reached out to him. He said he'll sign up and train with me, and then I reached out to an old cousin of mine who used to be an amateur, and he wants to work with me too. I mean, he's a little shorter than me, but he's a worker. So two guys that I've reached out to for this training camp. I mean, it's gonna be hard to find people Ness's size. Let's just say that they're all playing basketball and shit.
For sure, man. We're losing all the heavyweights to these American sports, unfortunately. We got through Robert the Genius, and now we got Machine Gun Garces, who's in your stables. He says, I recall you saying that there was a point where boxing became too much and you stepped away. What brought you back?
Um, I'm assuming he's talking about me being a fan of boxing. Um, I
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it. You kind of touched on it a little bit
yeah,
today.
yeah. I mean, I ended up getting a second job. So that was working from 16 to 18 hours a day, and then sleeping. And then on weekends, what did I want to do? Do I want to waste my days watching fights or go out with friends? Or, even during that era is when I met my now wife. So I decided to just, be with my family and friends, and boxing took a back seat. And, next thing I know, 3, 4 years goes by and I haven't watched much boxing then. But what got me back into it is Andy Ruiz versus AJ. I've been watching Andy Ruiz forever since he was on ESPN cards, on the undercards and shit. And watching him against AJ is like, yeah, I don't know if he's gonna win, but I gotta watch this fight. And fuck, man, that shit reminded me, like I said before, reminded me why I love the sport so much.
Bet. So next one is from Iron Sal, California. We're getting a little feedback. What is that?
Yeah, you're kind of pixelated right now, Ness.
Oh, it's me?
Oh well, your screen is.
So we got one from Ironside who says, how do you think you will handle the pressure of fighting the champ the morning of the fight? Those hours leading up to the fight are always the most nerve-wracking.
I've said it before. I talked to Mofongo about this a while in Jersey. I don't get nerves, man. I don't. They don't. I don't get butterflies in my stomach. I don't get nerves. None of that shit. I swear. A lot of people don't believe me, man. But I promise you, that stuff doesn't. I don't have any of that. I think that's why I can able to. It's going to play to my advantage because when I'm in the ring, I don't have too much adrenaline pumping through me. I'm thinking in there, and I'm seeing what's working and what's not working. I don't feel nerves. I don't. None of that pressure. None of that stuff.
But obviously, from the fights that Ness has had, he's obviously not good under pressure. I think Hasael was his toughest opponent, 24 years old, brought that pressure, was stood in his chest. But Hasael had the 24-year-old youth.
Yeah.
It didn't look like he trained. I mean, maybe looks could be deceiving. He was a defensive end. Linemen look that way, but react like basketball players. How are you going to be able to replicate that nonstop pressure? Because you need that pressure on the old man. You gotta Joe Smith Jr. Bernard Hopkins.
I mean, I'm not looking at Hasael's game plan as mine. I'm already an aggressive fighter. I already come forward. I always come forward, but I like to. My style is more of a aggressive like counter puncher. I come forward so you can throw, so I can counter. You got the height and reach, but at the same time, you're gonna have to. Ness is gonna have to reach to hit me. So that's why I'm not looking at Hasael's, because you know what, Hasael just went in and had dumb reckless aggression. He just went in to pop you in the mouth or pop Ness in the mouth and wasn't blocking, wasn't covering up, and that's why Ness was able to drop him. So I don't know. I got a game plan going in my head, and I will work on that when the time comes.
Now, the same reason you're taking motivation and taking the Goliath, you being David. I mean, what's stopping Ness from using AJ's blueprint? He already seen AJ make the mistake of overlooking the small guy, and he's already seen AJ make the corrections.
I'm looking at Ness. I feel like I already know what Ness's game plan is. I mean, every time Ness watches spar or talks about me, he's always talking about how easy I am. I've noticed him saying a stab jab to the stomach. The age, I feel like Ness's game plan is obviously, it's obvious what's going to happen. It's going to be me trying to get on the inside and Ness trying to pop me from the outside, right? So that's something I got to work on. I'm not scared of that. I already know what I could do. I can adjust if something's not working, and I'll adjust in the middle of the fight.
All right. Let's get back to the people's questions. Let's see what else is out there. We got Andre Bishop, new heavyweight, 46 years old, going to be taking on Morocco Joe on the card. He says, my man Eddie, what do you think you could have done differently in the Dr. Mofongo fight to walk away with the win instead of a draw?
Simple. Come in better shape. I mean, who's to say Mofongo could have come in better shape too? I feel like both of us in a better shape, it would have been a better fight. But if I would have came into a better shape, and like I said, I told you earlier in the interview that my feet felt like they were.
Did we lose you? We got a freeze up on that.
Handle that fight.
We lost you at my feet.
I'm just saying, if I would have came in better shape, I could have easily taken a step back and countered when he was doing his leaping right to the body. That was his only shot that he kept hitting me with. And that's all I'm saying is I could have came in a better shape, and I would have been able to control him even better.
No, I'm laughing at the engagement that your episode is getting. Coach Mide says Ness loves to talk about the stab jab to the stomach. That's so true. No, it's funny you pick up on that. I don't know. He's a Mayweather fan. And Mayweather uses that tool to great success. I'm telling you. But
Mayweather has the reflexes to get away with it. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, there you go. Let's go back to the people. We got Anthony Edwards, Queen City's own Cobra. You've got some damn good skills, Bola. How are you approaching this weight loss journey? Is fighting Ness a big motivation for you?
Shout out to Ant Man. He's one of the coolest dudes in the chat. Um, well, yeah, of course. Ness is the fight that. I mean, I can't go in there looking like I looked in Mofongo's fight. I can't do that. If I do that, I might as well just go home because I'm gonna get stopped. One thing, for sure, I don't want to get stopped. It ain't gonna happen. And two, I don't want to look sloppy and sluggish in there anymore. I just basically, yes, Ness is a huge motivation. It's the fight that I wanted. Mofong, I had a fight with Santiago, and that didn't motivate me at all. I mean, respect to Santiago because he's fucking improved a lot, and I'll definitely fight him one day. Mofongo, I was like, well, I'm gonna use this as a showcase fight, but I couldn't get up for him either. So this fight is definitely the fight that I got to get up for.
All right, we got John at One White Boy says, who's your favorite boxer of all time?
Well, I will give it to Arturo Gatti, um, Fernando Vargas, Chico Corrales, and then Mayweather. Just because of what they've done for me as far as motivation and shit. Mayweather is my favorite stylistically, but Diego Corrales, Gotti, and Fernando Vargas have all motivated me to do things. Have got motivated me to get off the couch and shit to do shit. Oh, and then you can put Andy in there now too.
Yeah, no, Andy made history. It's a wrap.
That's it.
Coach Mide with the super chat, love saying Happy New Year, TBV, long live Border Wars. Shout
Yes,
out
sir.
to Coach Mide.
Yes, sir.
We got Fern Gully in California says, will you be running miles for this fight?
Yes, I will be. Yeah. Before Christmas, me and my wife were doing about a mile a day just to get the body used to running. I noticed that at my size and weight, it hurts the knees and the shins real bad. But I push through it, and yeah, I'll be running miles, 2 to 3 miles a day for sure.
From the chat, Eurofighter says, all Ness is going to do is lean on the ropes and cry, bruv. You got this, Eddie.
Who's gonna be the ref for this fight, Ness?
I mean, it's gonna have to fucking be Midi, which is that's the scary part. We gotta fly in Jack Reese for this motherfucker.
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, as long as no, Doomy is a dude of integrity, so
yeah, but he's in my corner.
Yeah, he'll be. No, I'm just saying. I was gonna say as long as it's not Doomy, but I was like, I don't think Doomy would do any shady shit. He's a man of integrity, so never mind on Midi. He's gonna be in your corner, so no worries.
We got to be careful with Midi, though. We got to be careful with Midi. Midi takes points from Zach when Zach is pushing Cruz. He took no points in that Ness fight, but we're going to get back to these people's questions. We got Info Joe in California says, what up, Eddie? In the Border Wars Los Angeles, Ness had his hardest fight against Hasael. And have you looked at it? If you did, what did you think of the fight? And will you try to use some of the same tactics or style to defeat the champ?
I mean, I think we touched this a little bit already before, but look, Hasael pressured Ness. It was a small ring. I can imagine Dallas's ring is going to be bigger, right? So
Dallas is a nice ring.
Yeah, so I figured I can't go in there because Hasael just went recklessly. He had no skill whatsoever. There was no boxing skill in that. He just went reckless. He was just basically in a street fight.
He also had an unauthorized headgear, man.
Oh yeah, that bitch bar, man.
It was a cage. I mean, he had the bar and the chin.
No, you can't. Yeah, no, I know. But what I'm saying is his recklessness left them open for you to hit him on the counters. My whole game plan is, yes, I have to go forward. I have to go inside. Everybody knows that, right? So it's smart counter. I'm going to be an aggressive counterpuncher. I have to be aggressive, make you miss and make you pay. And then when I have spots to go on the inside or Ness on the inside, then get in the inside. There's no secret. There's no secret to this fight. Ness is going to try to keep me away. Keep me away, and I have to try to get inside. That's all there is.
Look, Midi just said he can't ref that fight because he already says he's picking you, so he's going to be biased. So it's probably going to have to be like Ant or somebody. Hopefully the gym owner. Yeah, Cruz. SOG.
I trust Cruz to be.
And SOG's that's his hometown, so he should be able to, have the change of wardrobe and shit.
I trust Cruz enough to be fair.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. But according to the headlines, Nessus is not worried about scorecards.
Yo, yo,
Yeah,
yo.
yeah, we lost you.
There you are.
I guess you got scared when we went to that headline. And what I was saying was, according to the headlines, Ness is not worried about scorecards. It's been a lot of chatter about stopping you.
Ness, you ain't gonna stop me. He ain't gonna stop me. Ness is not gonna stop me. I put that on everything I fucking believe in and know. No matter what, you ain't stopping me. You can beat my ass up and down that ring. I ain't going nowhere. I guarantee you, you ain't stopping me.
But that's what refs
I,
are for. What if the ref saves you from yourself?
I'm just listen.
We seen the ref and
I
his
don't
wife.
see
We seen the ref and his wife save Gus from his last fight, and that
that
was
was
Ness.
fucking
That was
Gus.
that
That
was
was
Ness.
Gus. That was Gus.
Yeah,
You're not gonna
Gus
see
was a
me. You're not
six
gonna see me
three.
doing
Gus was 6'3", 31 or 30-year-old white man in his
with
prime.
no skill, no boxing IQ, no idea of how to handle fucking punches coming at him. He was doing ballerina flips all over the fucking place,
Listen,
turning his back to you.
I'm not gonna say
He
that
should
you're
have been
not right.
TKO'd right there.
I'm not gonna say that you're not right because where has he been lately, right? Like after the
Right,
fight with Ness,
absolutely.
he's disappeared. So listen, I don't know. All
No,
right,
I'm just
back to the
saying.
questions though. But go ahead,
No, no,
vent.
I'm just saying. I'm not. You're not gonna stop me. There's no way in life that I'll let you stop me. That's all I'm gonna say.
I
Or
mean,
Ness. I forget that.
listen again. From what I hear, you have no control over what the referee has to do or
Listen,
what
but
the
see,
corner
in
has
order
to
for a
do.
ref, in order for a ref to stop the fight, I have to take unanswered punches. I
I
move my
mean,
head.
and that's what
I
I'm
move my
saying. I
head.
was sent the tape. Like you took like a 7-piece in that leak sparring. So,
What
a
league
seven
sparring?
piece,
You
a
can
seven.
hit me with one
Any
shot in
any
that
referee
flurry.
would stop it if you get hit with 7 straight punches.
You won't hit me with seven straight punches. I know how to move my head. Let's just say that.
Hey man, let's just hope that those 3 years allowed you to up your skills so that you don't got to worry about that.
No, I'm not worried about it. That's for sure. I know how to move my head. Let's just say that. I have to be seven unanswered punches, clean punches, and you won't land seven clean punches on me. Not in a row, at least. Not in a row. There's no way.
Keem in Florida says, you've got obvious skill boxing, and I heard you had a few amateur fights. Why did you stop boxing and pursue music? You didn't pursue
Uh,
music?
no, I mean,
Oh,
um,
you do have a bunch of band stuff. I just noticed that. What the hell do you?
yeah, that's how I met Robert through music.
Okay.
I when I was a kid, uh, for I've always had dedication problems as far as going to the gym. And so when I started fighting, I went ham on dedication. I was going running in the morning before school, getting home, eating, going to the gym for hours, and doing that every single day. When I started actually having going into competitions, when you turn 15, you start hanging out with the homies, and one day of not going to the gym turns into two, turns into three, and the next thing you know, I haven't gone. So being a teenager basically it was more enticing to me than dedicating my life to boxing.
All right, let me go to a few questions. We got JT in New Orleans says, how long has Ness been boxing? He started with Border Wars. His first ever time putting on a mouthpiece and getting in the ring was versus Sean Porter for a publicity stunt. And then Ram says, if this kid, meaning Eddie, could take a body shot, then Ness is in for a long night. We got Jordan Baker, Florida says, what advice do you have for someone first time stepping in the ring?
Only advice I can give to anybody stepping into the ring for the first time, and it's been told to me before, is accept the fact that you're going to get hit. Accept that. And as soon as you accept that fact, the fight becomes easier. A lot of people waste time trying not to get hit, scared to get hit, and as soon as they get hit, shell up and cower. Accept the fact that you're going to get hit, and then that's when your training kicks in. That's only advice.
So yeah, for those that want, Nest fights are all on Patreon, champ. You can watch it there. Actually, there's some sparring and stuff though on YouTube already. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. The next one is from. Okay, Jose in Canada says, "Don't be Andy. Be serious. 2 weeks gone by since you agreed to fight Ness, and Ness has been going to the gym. Looks like you weigh the same, if not more. Will you be the next Andy? And will you be overweight and underwhelming?"
We gotta wait and see, right? Listen, That's what the chat's for, to hold each other accountable, man. We're in the holidays, man. It's hard to. I mean, well, for me at least, hard to go to the gym. I need consistency in order to feel good. I have to consistently go to the gym. If there's breaks here and there, I hate that shit. So during the holidays, I haven't been going to the gym. Well, one, because I'm not trying to pay $40, because the gym that I'm going to go to, it's $40 regardless of what time of the month. I'm not gonna pay $40 for half a fucking month. Um, but I've been, running with my wife and eating decently. Holidays are around the corner, so obviously I don't think anybody stick to their diet during the holidays. But I'll come in. You just wait and see. I'll come in and do my thing.
Yo, we got another one from Dr. Mofongo, your
Uh oh.
previous
Uh
opponent. He says, "Should you shock the world and manage to win and keep the title, will you give the world the rematch they all want to see? Dr. Mofongo versus BDG2. Good luck, champ."
oh. So that's assuming I beat Ness in the rematch.
Yeah. Ness is smart
um,
enough to have a rematch clause. The old man doesn't play games.
Listen, it's weird, man. If the fight is the only option, I'll take it. I feel like Canelo and Triple G. Like, I've been down that route. I felt like I've won already. I mean, of course, it's gonna have to happen eventually before I get out of the heavyweight division. But I'm gonna entertain any other option. That's all I gotta say. I'm ducking. No.
I mean, this is saying something about you, though, to be honest with you, because there's been articles written on Dr. Mofongo. He's been on the outside of Border Wars looking in until he finally signed up to fight you. And from the outside, every reporter that gave him the time of day, he would say that he wanted a shot at Ness. And instead he fought you, never fought Ness, and you're fighting both him and Ness. So I guess, you know.
I want I want all the real fighters, man. I honestly feel like my name should be mentioned when people talk about Doomy, when people talk about Mide and Donel. I feel like my name should be in that same echelon.
Ooh, he want to be on that Border Wars pound for pound list.
It has to be, man. But the thing is, I'm not ducking anybody. If I can have it my way after Ness, let's say if SuperMEX doesn't beat Jose, I want Doomy next. He's gonna be my voluntary after my two rematches or my rematch from Ness.
I mean, that would be a beautiful story because Isaiah Weber finally, he picked Doomy. It's crazy.
Wow.
I sent
Yo,
them all
shout
the
out to Isaiah.
I sent them all the sparring, anything I could dig up. I went back, bro, and
You
found
got to. No, you got
and
to, man.
he wanted that. Like yo, the funny thing is he's like, yo, who's the guy that you doing pad work with? Can I fight him? I'm like, what? Do me? And he's like, yeah, and so I sent him everything. But we got Kenyatta Ali that says, I pay $100 per month for Mayweather Fitness. It's 2 hours away. And no, it's 2 hours and 30 minutes away from where I live. Only place I can train. But I think he's another Mayweather Fitness. It can't be the.
I was gonna say I don't know if it's the gym here in Vegas.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
even
it
know.
can't. It can't be because I think Ali is from somewhere else. He's in the military. He actually signed up to Border Wars. He was gonna fight, and
He's with that.
he's being shipped out. So hopefully,
Yeah,
but
life.
he's in the reserve. So I don't think he's being shipped out like to active duty. But if he is, thoughts and prayers regardless, man. Hope you get back all safe. And
Of course, of
but we
course.
do got
Yeah.
some callers. We're gonna get to Keem in Florida. Talk to me.
Uh-oh.
Hello, y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. What up, Keem?
Oh, what's going on? What's up, Eddie? Hey man, who
Yeah,
just
well,
got interviewing you, man? He sound kind of biased, dog. I don't know.
I know, right? I think him
I
and Ness
don't know,
run
man.
around the
Yeah, I
same
think he might
circle.
know Ness or something, man. I don't know what's going on there. But
Yeah,
but hey,
yeah.
man.
So,
I wanted to listen in mostly, but now that I have the opportunity, I did want to ask you. It seems like you're the favorite going into this fight. I see Mide's going for you. The other Border War show, I was talking with Ness when he was on about you. I think you got the best shot to beat him because of your skill. So how do you feel that a lot of people are picking you? It seems like you're the favorite, and Ness is the underdog in this fight.
People picking me is actually a good thing for me because now I don't want to go in there and look like I did with the Mofongo fight. So I got to go in there in shape, and that's. I mean, I'm shocked, honestly. Midi, when he picked me to win the fight, I was like, "Yep, real recognize real." He knows exactly what I'm. He knows exactly my mentality going into this fight. Everyone else is I don't know if it's Ness hate or what, man, but it's motivated, man. I got to go in there in shape. I can't let everyone, I can't be the next
Yeah,
amateur.
definitely.
That's for sure.
No, definitely. I mean, when I talked to Ness, I said the same thing. I think the only thing would be how in shape you are for the fight. I think that's going to be the determining factor because with his size and your size, you're going to have to do a lot of moving. But
I
yeah,
drop
man.
weight quick too.
You said you did what?
I said I drop weight quick. I drop weight easily. When I'm in training mode, my weight drops. So I definitely won't be fighting with my feet in the mud. Let's just say that.
Well,
I'm gonna
it's
need.
kind of shocking you say your feet were in the mud because I thought you were pretty light on your feet in that fight. So if you felt like you could do better than that, man, that's
No,
exciting to hear,
I
and I want to
I
see
know I
it
can do
definitely,
better.
dog.
I'm I
Nice,
can I
nice.
can I'm an in and out kind of guy. I know how to leap in safely, leap out, covered up. I know how to use my legs. Let's just say that.
But hey, man, appreciate the time. Good luck to you. Happy New Year, y'all.
Hey, Keem, thank you, man. Thanks for the questions, man, and happy New Year, dude. Thank you.
All right. Well, we got JT in New Orleans. JT, you got any questions for Eddie, or you were just listening?
Now I'm listening, but I could ask questions as well. It seems like I'm just really getting into this border wars because I was asking my brother about it, and it seems like your boy have all the experience. What's the guy name?
Eddie.
Eddie,
Eddie. I'm sorry, Eddie. Eddie, because he said he had 5 fights, and he's still been training since he was a kid because he been in boxing for a long period of time. And that sound like you overmatched right now because of the experience he have. Because you said you just started boxing in border wars, right?
Yeah, but his
no, I
experience
stopped.
is his experience is like 12 years ago. He had his 5 amateur fights when he was like
17,
14,
15.
15.
Yeah, I stopped training after I got out of my amateur career at 15. So I haven't trained
Okay.
since then in boxing. Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's relying on that to get him through this fight, is what he's saying. He believes that that's what's going to carry him.
It's still, I mean, all the IQ and the boxing experience and the instincts are still there.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, man. I boxed before, man, and I'm not in boxing no more. I was an amateur as well. I had about 10 fights, and a lot of sparring matches. But I know one thing
Hmm.
about it, like my skill level, I still have the skills that don't go away. I might not my reflex, my movement, and all that. I got up in a little weight, might not be the same thing. So, but that's why I'm basing it off of somebody that really don't have no experience in boxing compared to somebody that got experience in boxing.
Exactly, exactly, and that's all I need. I just need to get in a little bit more shape, and what I was able to do when I was in the amateurs will come back. That's the Mofongo fight. All that shit wasn't there, man. I didn't have my reflexes. I didn't have and the IQ was there, and that's why I was able to control that fight. But the reflexes weren't. That comes
Okay,
with
well.
that comes with being in shape for sure.
So this is my question to Ness. Ness, based on you fighting somebody have experience, period, no matter how long ago it was, or were you training? Because I know you do a lot of shows. Do you train enough and stuff like that? Get enough time in?
I do train, man. For all my fights, I take it as serious as I can. Probably more serious than the normal people. I think the biggest issue is the sparring.
Uh huh.
It's hard to get sparring because of the morning show. Like if I could end my morning show at 10:30 and make it to the gym at 11:15, I'm more probable to get sparring. If I make it to
Right.
that gym at 11:45, there ain't nobody there. If I didn't bring Doomy with me, I'm just hitting the bag alone, looking in the mirror. There's no one in the gym. Like they only come in the morning and they all get there at 10 a.m.
Right. I feel that, but I like your show, Ness. But look, you look like you might got to take this one a little serious, so you might got to end them shows early to get that sparring in.
No, definitely, definitely. Believe me, bro. Look, he hasn't even gone to the gym. I already started going back to the gym.
Okay,
I'm just
okay.
fat right now, yo. I'm fat. I'm gonna get down. Hopefully, you know. I mean, look, he has youth. He has the youth. He has the experience. And you
Look
know,
at
I feel like I got the height and the reach. You know, I think this is AJ 2. Like, I don't have to let it be AJ Ruiz 1 because I already seen the mistakes Ruiz made. I mean, excuse me, AJ made. Like, we seen AJ took Ruiz lightly, and then we seen AJ fix that in the second fight and box long. So if Eddie presents trouble, then I gotta box long because I'm tall. I'm tall. So I just gotta box long. You know, I gotta use my stick. I gotta keep it out there too. You know what I mean? And keep my hands
Right.
up. Keep my hands up. I mean, look, it's easier said than done, obviously,
Oh, absolutely,
because my
absolutely.
last fight I won, but I didn't look as good as I wanted to. I think I looked horrible in terms of technically. I was all the punches. I feel like I was scooping a lot of water because I was trying to generate too much power. So they were real wide shots that a guy with the skill of Eddie could just come straight down the middle, pop, and hit me with a right hand, counter me with a short left hook because I'm loading up. You know what I mean? But the guy I had was different than Eddie. Like, me and Eddie also sparred though. You know, like, it's footage out there of it. Me and him spar, and like, I know he got skill, but that's why I threw more jabs versus Eddie than I threw with Gus. With Gus, you know,
So y'all spar before y'all too?
yeah, we sparred before.
Okay, okay. Oh yeah, all right. Well, then, well, you know your opponent, then you know
I mean,
what
it
he
was three
basically bring.
years ago though. It was 3 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah, it was it
all
was
right.
it was 3 years ago, and it was only like a round and a half, maybe. You
around. It
know,
was just around.
it wasn't hard. Like, we definitely didn't go hard. Like, especially if you had 10 amateur fights, believe me, the sparring you did wasn't this. We could have went harder.
Okay,
We could have went harder. We was just working, really. You know, like, that's why he
okay.
doesn't. That's why he doesn't. That's why he feels like I take more out of it though. I'm gonna be honest, but that's because I'm not an amateur, right? I didn't
Right.
spar as hard as you and him in preparation for a true amateur fight. So what I was able to do to him, like you said, he got more skills than me. I feel like I did good. I feel like I got the better of that sparring.
I'd agree. You
Okay.
got the better of the sparring, but I'm saying that sparring did a lot for me as far as gauging your height and your distance and all that stuff. I mean, if I would have thrown away that first round. If I didn't have that sparring with you, Ness, I would have thrown away that first round trying to figure out what my distance needs to be.
Bro, but you could get stopped throwing away that first round. It's the heavyweight
But what I'm
division.
saying, I'm not going to throw away that first. That's what I'm
You know
saying,
what I'm
though.
saying?
I ain't gonna throw it away because I already had that. I already been in there with you. I
Yeah,
know
but
how
look,
far, and
I'm
I
gonna
know what
be
that physical
I'm
presence
definitely
is.
gonna try to come to the fight because you said it's in Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm still in New Orleans, but I drive out there to see the fight.
Yeah. February 29th, man. We gonna all. Oh shit, I'm losing service here. We gonna all be together February 29th, so you definitely could come, man. But JT, I want to thank you obviously for calling. Let me refresh here, make sure ain't nobody get in on the last second. You still with me, Eddie?
I'm right here. Yeah, I got some reservations to get to. So how long do we
No,
got?
no, we're done. I was just refreshing
Okay,
to see if we had any last minute post, but that's it, brother. I
no,
want
we're
to
good.
thank you, obviously.
No, thank you
And
for
if you want to
putting
give
me.
any final thoughts, any social media for anybody that wants to follow your weight loss journey, see these skills that you claim firsthand.
No, I just want to say thanks for the platform. Border Wars is a beautiful thing. And you guys can follow me on social media.
Yo,
I don't really.
why is
What?
everybody doubting Ness? Look at this guy, Ness. This kid might be a problem. Work on your stamina. Like,
Yo, you know what though? Shout out to everybody who's recognizing that this fight isn't a cherry, man. Everybody's recognizing that this is for real, a real fight. So you gotta be confident in that. At least Jose can't open his mouth. Let's just say that.
well, there you go, brother. Well, there you have it. Eddie Bola De Grasa. If you want to see the sparring with me and Eddie, it's on Patreon. You want to see his last fight, it's on Patreon. Plus, he's going to keep Patreon updated with some weekly, training
Training
footage
footage. Yep.
and keep us up to date on his weight loss journey. Remember, this is about losing weight first, getting him like Marvin to his right weight so he can truly be a champ. Marvin's our unified champ who will be defending versus Sal on this very day. They are the main event, so don't forget to catch them. Eddie, thank you for coming on. Catch you on the next one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.